What is up guys, PK here. Now, I had actually recorded a bunch of different intros for today's video, but I had to realize I simply didn't have the time to edit them in time for an upload today. And so I thought instead I would try something a little bit differently today, which is getting straight to the point. I know, shocking. A man who makes 55-minute quick guides actually gets to the point. I should probably stop this monologue now. Anyways, so as you guys know, the UI settings were sort of tweaked in the most recent update in Vermintide 2 with Sister of the Thorn. That sort of broke the mod. Some changes came to the mod, which then made the actual UI tweaks mod unverified, although it still worked for some weird reason. The point being that essentially I couldn't really fix my UI settings until this morning. So I spent most of the day adjusting, tweaking, overhauling my UI settings. They're still primarily the same, so those of you that are already using them will feel very familiar. There are a couple of changes due to the new implementations into the mod, such as a dodge counter. And a couple of tweaks that we'll get into momentarily. But firstly, I thought we should go over quickly how to actually install the UI tweaks file, like how to actually get my UI set up. And there's one thing we've done differently. You see, a bunch of people had issues regarding different resolutions, right? Because obviously the file that I gave you guys last time was only for 1920 x 180, which meant that any person with a different resolution would have to sort of struggle to adjust everything, and it can get more complicated than you might think if you're not familiar with how the actual settings menu works. So essentially what I've done, in collaboration with 𝒮𝔞𝔤𝔢𝔯𝔮𝔞𝔡, shout out to you my friend, thanks for your help, is that I've set up 4 different resolutions currently. I will gladly do one more if some of you guys are struggling, but that will require help from one of you. But I've essentially done 1920 x 180, obviously the base resolution. We got 2560 x 180, then we got 3840 x 180, essentially sort of so both a wide monitor and a super wide. And then I've also done a 2560 x 1440, so a slightly taller resolution, which was the one I couldn't do on my own. So thanks to 𝒮𝔞𝔤𝔤𝔢𝔯𝔮𝔞𝔡 for helping me set that up. And so these 4 resolutions are all in the same file, so you don't need to worry about which file to actually get. Now, I'm going to just show you guys real quick before I talk you through the changes. So essentially what you need to do if you want my UI setup is quite simple. You follow the link that that's in the pinned comment and the description, which will take you to my Discord server. Now, unlike last time where I told you guys to go into the questions section, we've made a separate channel specifically for my UI setup and nothing else, right? So you start in here, you simply click the UI tweaks up here, and you'll see this little guide showcasing exactly what you need to do. So you need to click this file here and download it, and then the raw file, aka like you don't have to unpack it or anything. You simply copy paste this little bit right here. You go down and you're like a PC, like my PC, then you paste it in here. And then this will open up. These icons here will look different. So essentially what you do is you download this file right here, and then you drag and drop it from your downloads folder, which I would assume is up here, and you put it into this folder right here that you can simply, again, copy paste, enter, and you're in the right place. Then you click replace file in the destination, and then you like the video. And then you're ready to launch Vermintide 2. So once you're actually in Vermintide 2, what you need to do is click escape, mod options, UI. I forgot this part last time because for some reason this doesn't necessarily come with the preset, but you need to make sure that these 2 are enabled, show presets UI and show outside key. Once they're enabled, you click enter, which will open this UI tweaks preset up here. You don't have to worry about placing it the wrong, it will reset its position. It doesn't matter what resolution you pick up here either, 8x8, great. But regardless of which one of these you pick, you should always see these 4 UI setups, one for each resolution, which is obviously included in the name, and they will look nearly identical. There's a slight variations we had to implement due to sort of the different nature of the different resolutions, I guess is a way to put it, but they're essentially identical. Now, one thing I've done is overhaul the UI setup, so now all non-priority buffs will appear below my face. like next to the icon, you know, instead of at the center, because every setup I did looked bulky as hell, and then, you know, then it only looked good if the buffs were there, but then it would look dumb when they weren't, and if I, you know, if I made it look good when they weren't, then it would look stupid when they were, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So I've essentially gone around this problem by placing the non-priority buffs in the bottom right corner. I've also made the priority buffs more square, because some of you complained about that. And actually, they were a little bit wide, so that's totally fair. And as you can see, you can now see your active dodge count, effective dodges, essentially, right below the ultimate skull. Now, also, I've lowered the health bar a little bit, the reasoning being that the 2 yellow skulls, or green skulls, I'm red-green colorblind, don't hate me, those skulls are linked, or sort of tied to the actual health bar, which made everything look kind of stupid in their position previously. It's still not perfect, but there's nothing I can do to separate the two, so I can't really move them in any way, shape, or form. So the only thing you could do is take the health bar and set it to 100% instead of 150, but I honestly still prefer it looking the way it does now. And so I've done a bunch of minor adjustments and tweaks. You still have all of your priority buffs sort of tied to the actual UI settings. And so pretty much most of it is as you're used to. But now it just comes in all of the different resolutions, so you guys don't have to do that. That was several hours of work, so I hope you guys don't take that for granted. And it's all in the same file. But I've increased the size of the HP UI for teammates, as well as for your actual health. And you can now see the buffs in the bottom right corner appearing there. There's very rarely more than 2, sometimes 3. But never more than that, so that's how that looks. Still got your priority buffs. Also, I forgot to turn off Bubblehead, so yeah, nothing wrong here. I see no problem here. Just in case you guys want to see what it looks like with full inventories. That's what that looks like. So yeah, here on a beautiful Against the Grain. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it wasn't the funniest or most interesting of videos. It was a little bit of a must-make, so to speak. But the video itself may not have been that many hours to make, but the actual work that went into creating not just the original UI setup, but also implementing it into all of the different resolutions was several hours of very boring, very grueling work. So I just hope you guys can actually use it. If you guys just want to stop by the Discord server to grab the UI setup, feel free to do that. If you want to join the community, then feel free to stay around and ask. We have plenty of really talented Vermintide players that are doing everything from Onslaught to FOV Kata. Or if you just want to stop around for a chat, really. Like, I'm always down for that. I'm there all the time, literally in the VC. And you guys are always welcome to pop in and say hi. If you have, or if you have any issues with the UI, again, feel free to ask anytime. We have plenty of good stuff coming up. Unchained quick build guide, Ironbreaker quick build guide, Sister of the Thorn update video. Because there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about there. So, but regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. I can smile again. And as always, I love you guys. Stay awesome. Peace out.